I was kind of offended when people were saying that the septic in this system for this building has failed. It's only failed from a code perspective. It's not compliant. It doesn't mean it's failed. It failed to pass a rule, but when you flush the toilet, the water still goes away. I mean, come on. People talk about this building like it's so fraught with problems. It's a fully functional building. And it has aging infrastructure. I'd very much like to see the aging infrastructure updated in a planned, well thought out process. And that would be a benefit to the town. Oh, and another thing that upset me is people talked about there being a big flood in the basement here. Some kids left the hose on from recreation, and the hose was stuck in the old stairwell that goes to the locker rooms, which are now used for storage by youth baseball.
So you're saying there's not a water problem per se, some kids left a hose on?
Exactly. And the drain doesn't work as well as it should, so the hose overwhelmed the drain and we had a little bit of a flood. It wasn't a huge deal. It's taken care of now, and now we're better manage the hose so we don't run into silly situations like that again.
So it's amazing how rumors get started. We're glad you're here, Mr. Peterson, to dispel them.
Well, it's kind of funny the way rumors started, but it's kind of sad that people listen to the rumors and take them as fact.
Come on in.
All right.
This is where it all happens. You know, this is the room, or the office.
So Tom, here you are at your desk. Tell me a little bit of what you do during the day as you volunteer.
I've been volunteering here for the Commission on Disabilities office for 15 years at the here at the community center.
So you've been working here 15 years. What keeps you working here that long?
The people that I help, the people that come into the office looking for different services.
And what services do you provide?
The Commission provides transportation service. We share the same vans with the Council on Aging office.
So here in your office you have crutches and other equipment. Tell us about that, Tom.
Okay. We have a wide variety of crutches, walkers. We have a wheelchair, shower chair, and Monday we just received 2 CPAP machines. And what those are if someone has sleep apnea, these machines are able to help them breathe better.
So if someone from Pembroke can't afford a machine, they could come here and get one?
Yes.
And what is the cost to that person?
There is no cost. It's totally free. Okay, this is called a CPAP machine.
It's in that bag?
Yes, it is.
And how did you get this at the Commission on Disabilities?
A gentleman came in Monday and he donated 2 of them. 2 of them? Yes.
So how do you get the word out to people who need them that you have them here for free?
I advertise, through word of mouth. I advertise on the cable station. I make up little flyers, posters. Recently I advertised in the local papers as well.
So as a volunteer, you advertise the Commission on Disabilities with your own time, and who pays for these things?
It's all free. It's all free advertising.
You have other volunteers besides yourself who come in every once in a while.
Yes.
And who are they?
Mary Ellen.
Yeah, Mary Ellen.
Tom.
2 Toms. You're a Tom.
That's right. I'm one of 2.
We'll call you Tom 1 and we'll call him Tom 2.
It works for me. And there's also Tony. Tony is the chairman for the commission.
Nice.
Did I mention the fitness equipment yet?
No, you didn't mention fitness equipment.
Besides medical equipment, we also take in donations of fitness equipment and used eyeglasses as well.
Used eyeglasses? How do you know if the eyeglasses are going to be good for someone else?
They have to have an eye exam first.
Oh, and then you match them up with the appropriate glasses?
Yes.
How long has this office been at the community center?
The office has been here as long as I've been volunteering here at the community center.
And you've been volunteering at least 15 years?
Correct.
And how many people do you serve?
I can't keep track, honestly, because I mean, I've helped out so many people over the past 15 years. It's just too tough to keep track of it all.
So there must be quite a few.
I want to show you the ramp outside.
Oh, is it a special kind of ramp?
Yes, it's a handicap ramp.
So what's different about this ramp that other buildings don't have?
Oh, this ramp leads right into the town green.
Oh, very nice. Okay, let's go out and take a look at that.
This is the ramp I was telling you about inside.
This is the ramp by the town green that leads from the community center building to the town green, so someone who can't walk very well can get down to the town green.
That's correct, yeah. This handicap ramp was put in free of charge. All the labor and all the materials were donated, so all the disabled residents could access the green more easily. If there's a concert or a special event, during the summer, people with disabilities can use it, as well as people with baby strollers. So this here was a big project to be done, and it makes the green look even better. It's a big part of the town green now, and we've gotten so many compliments on this ramp, and people who are disabled or have baby carriages, they can't use it enough. They really can't. I mean, they just love this thing. This ramp is just awesome. So, I mean, I'm glad it's done. The Commission on Disabilities is grateful to be located here inside the community center.
Inside. Here's your microphone.
This office at one time used to be the principal's office when it was both a grade school and a high school.
Tom, are you ever scared to come in your own office because the principal might be here?
No, not at all.
Oh, you didn't go to school here, did you?
No, I didn't.
Do you think the ghost of the principal exists?
No, if he does, he's long gone by now.
I think it was a she.
It could have been.
Could have been I don't know who the principals were.
That makes two of us. And my old office used to be down by the food pantry, and that at one time used to be the nurse's office.
Oh my gosh, the nurse's office, now the principal's office. How do you rate so highly?
I rate highly because I do a good job here at the community center. Other things that the commission is responsible for are we are responsible for making sure all the town-owned buildings and the town-owned property is handicap accessible.
So how do you do that? Do you actually go out to each building?
Yes, what we do is we conduct a access survey. Like when, for example, when the 3 grade schools, the middle school and the high school were all renovated, myself and Tony had to go to each building and make sure that each building was accessible to people with disabilities.
And you do this all as a volunteer?
Yes.
Very nice. Well, thank you, Tom. Thank you from me, and thank you on behalf of the residents of Pembroke.
You're welcome.
All right, what's a disability, Tom?
A disability can be mental, it could be physical, it could be someone who's blind or deaf, or even someone that is hard of hearing, even someone that has a weight problem could be considered
a weight problem.
disabled.
Maybe half the town has a disability.
I don't know. And don't let me forget to mention learning disabilities as well. If they need help for transportation, I would get their name and number, and I would send them out an application.
I hear your phone ringing, Tom. You better get it.
Okay.
Don't worry about us.
All right. The people that use our services here at the Commission are very grateful for everything that we offer. Transportation, medical equipment, fitness equipment. People drop off used eyeglasses to us, and like I said before, they are grateful for the free medical equipment that I give out. I mean, some people you know, are on a, some people are on a fixed income and they just can't afford new equipment. So that's why the commission gives out both medical and fitness equipment free of charge.
Well, thank you, Tom. It was real nice meeting you. Let's shake hands. There you go.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you too. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Can I let you introduce yourself? Because I don't want to mistake a word or you. Would you do that for me?
Yes, Louise. My name is
Okay.
Alan Peterson. I'm the former facilities managers for Pembroke Public Schools in the town of Pembroke. Now I consult for the town of Pembroke and I work for the school department in Medfield.
That sounds very nice.
Yeah, so I know a little bit about buildings and the people it takes to run them and what it takes to make buildings be efficient.
And the ones in Pembroke?
And the
you
ones
must
in
know
Pembroke.
a lot of them.
Oh, I've been in a lot of places in the buildings in Pembroke, but no one else has ever been.
Uh-oh. Well, we'll consult you then.
Yeah, including the community center here in the center of
Yes,
town, which
that
is a
is
beautiful old building.
Well, I think so, but I don't think I'm alone either, because a lot of people feel that way about it.
Yeah, so I've been in places in a lot of town buildings, including the community center, which is behind us. It's a historic building, but it's still a nice place, and it's got a lot of viable activities going on.
Well, when it was inspected last, they said it was real sound, and it needs a little surface, you know, rehabilitation, but sounds good to me.
It's still a good building.
Yeah.
It runs a lot of good programs. We should go inside and have a look at some of its
That
attributes.
sounds like a good idea.
Come on.
Okay? I get the sign. Well, Alan, we've reached the frieze. Is that what you call that thing here?
Some people call that cast concrete piece a frieze. I've never seen one of those cast in a more modern building. That's something that was stopped in the 50s.
See, it's such a beautiful old building.
And not many people notice the words Pembroke Center School above that unless you stop to look at it.
And it needs a little refurbishing too.
Well, that's
Well,
in pretty good shape. You could shine the letters up if you wanted to. And the crack that's in
Painted
the
them
lower
white,
corner
maybe.
is very minor.
Well, I dare say there's a lot of ways of fixing it easily, you know, without
Well, when they
too
built
much
this,
effort.
When they built this building, they didn't realize they needed to put expansion joints in the cement. So right where the bricks change from the pretty pattern to the soldier bricks that are in a row, they should have cut an expansion joint, then the corner wouldn't have cracked.
But they could do that now.
Yep,
Oh, well.
and that's easily done.
Yeah, okay.
And this is one of the
That's-
parts of the building where the masonry is in the best shape.
Well, we've reached the front door, and if we back up a little bit, there's a beautiful, I don't know what you call that thing that's on the top, way in.
The keystone over the arch.
Right. That is very pretty too, and they don't do that much anymore.
No, there's a lot of nice features on this.
Right.
This old main entrance isn't used as the main entrance so much now.
I know.
Because the main function for this building is the daycare and the after-school programs with the rec. And they tend to use the door that will actually go in at the ramp. Yeah, there's been a lot of activities go through that door. Back from when it was at a school, when the kids would go in and the staff would go in for school. I bet your kids went to school
Oh,
here.
they did, yes, both of them. In fact, my youngest one, there was a little play yard in the back. They had swings, not way over like the kindergarten has, but right up closer to the building. And my youngest one was always, he never walked, he ran. And he had just gotten his new tooth down where it looked halfway decent. Fell off the swing, fell right on that tooth and broke it.
Oh, the poor guy.
Yeah. So
That's the
memories.
Yep. Now we have this Pembroke Center preschool. the Commission on Disabilities, the Recreation Department with a lot of young people.
They use the gym.
Running after-school programs for kids whose parents work and can't get home right after school. We also have the food pantry here, which is a huge user group.
Oh, that does such a wonderful job.
Well, the wonderful job is done by youth hockey because they run the bingo, and that's what pays for a lot of the utilities in this place.
Money-wise, money-wise, but yes, because people come from other towns here, not just Pembroke people that use this food pantry.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes, Kingston, and even as far as Plymouth.
So this is one of the larger food pantries around.
People have, they're proud. They don't like to come and ask for food, but the times are so hard. They're embarrassed to go to their own town. This is our thoughts about it. And so they come here, and these people don't really know them that well. But when your neighbor might be there, you don't want the too well known. That's all run by volunteers. They come in, they use their time, put all those things in an orderly fashion, the fruit in cans of fruit in one, it's all done. That's time consuming. People don't realize the amount of work these people actually do here. Sure, they're here for 2 hours to distribute the food, but that food is all methodically and painstakingly analyzed. They look for the dates on it. I mean, they make sure that it's not anything that you wouldn't want to eat. This is for people.
And they have just about the right amount of space for the food pantry. I remember we added some more circuits so they could add some more refrigerators there, and they were very appreciative of that.
Oh, and that air conditioning that they get a little gratuity in the summertime was so appreciated. Yes.
Yeah, it'd be nice if the building were upgraded to have more amenities like that for the groups that use this. There's a lot of good organizations that use this.
Well, Alan, we've moved into the gym area. Looks like they've got a net and they're ready for baseball. Now.
They got the batting cages set up for practice. And we got the summer ventilation fan running. They haven't had one of those work for a few years, but when the building inspector complained he didn't like the tin cupola on the roof, we put one in that had an exhaust fan, so now we get a little bit of cooling in the summer.
Good. See, there's a few improvements.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that step up to help out. Look at the beautiful gym floor that was done.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
I think Bob Watts played a big hand in that with Gymnasium Floor Company. He gave us a very good price because he's a town resident. And a lot of those kind of things happen to make
the kids will appreciate that.
The programs work well in the community center.
Basketball, baseball, and the inclement weather.
And they do indoor soccer too. My grandson came here for indoor soccer for the Tykes. He was 4 or 5 years old when he came down here for that. He had a lot of fun along with a lot of other kids.
I had a walking club, and when it rained, we used to come here and walk the corridors. That was when the community center, the elderly center was upstairs here.
Oh, yes.
And Edna Rand ran it, and we used to do that, walk all around these corridors. It's quite a walk.
It's a big building. It's a 34,000 square foot building, and one end is 2 stories, so you can go up and down the stairs.
I mentioned that before. I thought there was a section that had another story.
So this is the 2008 study, which is one of a number of studies that have been done here at the community center over the years. This shows a demolition and a reconstruction that looks very much like we have now. So
really
why do we need to spend all that money to make something
look like it does right now?
Look like it does now. when for a lot less money you can get the same result.
A lot less money.
I think so. And it would spin us into a position where we would need to have a wastewater treatment plant. We have more program space inside this building than we have programs to use it. I think we need to find ways to make the building updated so it's better suited for what we're doing with it now. We're in it now, we're running programs now. We ought to be making the building in a planned, concerted, phased basis to move up step by step to be a better building. I know for recreation, kids don't want to be in school for 10 hours a day. They celebrate the fact they come to a different building and do different programs. A lot of towns run a model with kids doing recreation in the schools, but they don't have the enrollments that we have here at this recreation department. Yeah, so a transition to move from the existing uses in the building to a new building could very well kill the programs. Kids don't want to be in school 10, 12 hours a day waiting for their parents to pick them up. Now the schools bus the kids here and the parents pick them up when they come home from work. It's a terrific thing.
And it's convenient.
Absolutely, and that's why we have such a large enrollment in the recreation department. And it's economical for them to run the rec. They only need to have one site manager here at one site, and the kids like coming to the one place and using the rooms that they use in this terrific gym, and they have the terrific outdoors here. So the people enjoy this particular use. If that were done in different buildings, more than likely it would be the schools like many towns have, and I don't think they would have the same type of support. Same thing for all the other youth programs. Here we're in with youth baseball. They just went out to the fields out back. They were able to set everything out here in the gym, and then as a nice day, they're out back.
And we have it right here. You don't have to get in a car and move around.
Absolutely.
It's right here. Convenient.
Yes, it's very convenient. It's right in the center of town, so it's convenient for a lot of people to walk to, and it's convenient for...
And you don't worry about the children, and I don't think they really can get hurt too bad running from here to the park.
Yeah,
there.
the field at the bottom of the hill. Yeah, there's a nice driveway down there from here.
Yeah. Now what have you got to show us?
Well, this is another study that was done in July of 1998, right around the time that the roofs were redone here at the community center. And it identified existing conditions. It shows a nice floor plan with dimensions. And it talked about the fact the building met code. It's a nice building. But it clearly identified a few things with some costs. And some of those things have been done. Powers and Company, an architectural and engineering firm, did this study that identified some things. So even the Energy Committee has undertaken a study. We brought in a professional energy service company to look at ways that we could make improvements on the building without having to float a bond. That was just done last week, so the Energy Committee is still reviewing the thing you're looking at on the screen here. It shows that we're looking at what the town fathers want in finding a way to get improvements made without having to make huge capital investments.
Can they do this in increments of, say, the heating system one time, or the they wouldn't just start everything all at once, the soffits being fixed and this, you know what I'm saying? Would it be done in an orderly fashion?
I think they would do it the same way one would do repairs at home. You do one thing at a time until it's done.
Okay, so what I'm thinking of is the people that are using it right now. It probably wouldn't interfere with their usage of this building if it was done.
If it's done smartly, any interfering
Right.
could be planned and coordinated so that the disruptions would be minimal.
Would be minimal, yeah.
I've been through a number of school renovations that have been occupied, and we've always found a way to make the education happen reasonably painlessly.
Right, I see.
We could
Would
do the
work.
same kind
it
of
would
thing
work.
here.
If you want it to work, it'll work.
Exactly.
Can I ask you, when you were living here, what period, in the 70s, the 80s, 90s, just to give us a little idea of what you would have seen going on in Pembroke?
I moved here in the early 80s when I got married. We raised our family here. I have two daughters.
They went to school in
They went to
Silver
school in
Lake?
Silver
Yeah.
Lake, and they were both in school during the transition when we divorced from Silver Lake. And I came to work in public
Oh,
sector.
that's fairly recent. Yeah.
Just before I worked in Pembroke schools, I worked in Norwell schools as they were doing their Project 2001 school renovations. And then I came to Pembroke during our school renovations. Made a lot of improvements on the school to keep them energy efficient. We got our high school to be an Energy Star rated building, and we could have got that same bronze plaque on all the rest of the schools, but you don't need to pay an engineer to certify when you're saving money. If you're saving money, you're saving money.
Yeah.
And then I also worked at the town, and I've made a few improvements here at the community center. I helped hire the handyman we have here at the community center, who does a lot of the maintenance here. And I've played a personal hand in touching a lot of the things and making a lot of the improvements here to help maintain some economy of operation on the town buildings.
We like to hear that.
I enjoy it, and
Right.
I think folks that know me understand that I know a little bit about a lot, and what I don't know, I want to find out.
Well, we really need your expertise, I think.
I'm hopeful that smart decisions will be made about what kind of future this building and its occupants are going to have, because the people in these buildings need to have
They do.
good program space, and it can be very easily brought back to be a gem. In Medfield, where I work now, we're still using a school that was built in 1940. It's still an occupied daily school operation.
Those were my years.
Yeah, and it's a very nice building, and it's very well kept up. This building here could be a nice building if people made a plan to get it back into shape.
I think I'd like that. Can you tell that little story again for us, Alan? We had such a good laugh with that. Not funny, really, but
It is kind of funny. It's a little gross, but it's funny. A few years ago, while I was working full-time for the town, the building inspectors were very concerned about the tin cupola on the roof here of the gym. It was rusty and falling down. So I like to solve two problems at once when I can. So when I was getting prices to get it fixed, I was amazed at how expensive it was. And then I realized, gee, that's the same price as an exhaust fan. So I talked to Dave over at Quality Air and asked him to give me a price for an exhaust fan for the gym. So he did, and we spec'd it out, and his guys put it up. And it's a good-sized piece of ductwork up there. It comes down like a big pair of tin pants to these huge grills on the side of the gym. And I thought it had a tar and gravel floor inside the duct. Well, when we went to wire it, we couldn't poke the wires through. So come to find out that 6 foot wide, 4 foot deep, 2 foot high area was chock-a-block full of birds' nests, bat crap, I think they call it guano, and pigeon dung. So poor Dennis and I got to suit up in our hazmat suits and fill 35 bags of that stuff, down to finding and we dumped them out at the recycle where they had a area for leaves and debris. And when we emptied the bags out, we found an old pigeon skeleton with a racing band on it. And Dennis said to me, you should find out where that racing band came from. And it was a 1978 pigeon out of either Millis or Medfield that turned up missing in 1978. So that ductwork hadn't been cleaned since 1978,
Wow.
which is right about the time when the schools gave it up. So it just goes to show that a lot of deferred maintenance
You did all that work.
can make for a funny story sometimes.
Yeah. It wasn't funny when you were doing it, but it's funny in the retelling.
Yes, yes. We're up there on a hot July day, several
Right,
of them filling
right.
those bags. It wasn't so funny.
No.
But having the fan work now so that we can move a little air through there and get the heat out when folks made it all worthwhile.
Well, Alan, it was awfully nice talking to you and meeting you. I hope you come back again and serve us as well as you have today. It's brought back a lot of memories to me, you know. We had a bleachers out back there, and we used to watch the football games here, and it was a big thing for Pembroke. I don't know if you remember that, but we did. We had a drum and bugle corps here in the town, and they'd come around here and parade around the fields. Pembroke is a great town. I've always loved it.
Well, thank you for inviting me here. I really loved being here. It was a pleasure to meet Louise, and it was fun to talk about the opportunities here at the community center to make things better for the folks that are in the youth, the food pantry, the baseball, the men's basketball, the cable studio, youth hockey, the bingo that supports the energy of this facility. It's a very vibrant population of folks that are using this facility, and I'm hopeful that we can find a way to preserve and maintain this gem for the future generations to come. I was kind of offended when people were saying that the septic in this system for this building has failed. It's only failed from a code perspective. It's not compliant. It doesn't mean it's failed. It failed to pass a rule, but when you flush the toilet, the water still goes away. I mean, come on. People talk about this building like it's so fraught with problems. It's a fully functional building. And it has aging infrastructure. I'd very much like to see the aging infrastructure updated in a planned, well thought out process. And that would be a benefit to the town. Oh, and another thing that upset me is people talked about there being a big flood in the basement here. Some kids left the hose on from recreation, and the hose was stuck in the old stairwell that goes to the locker rooms, which are now used for storage by youth baseball.
So you're saying there's not a water problem per se, some kids left a hose on?
Exactly. And the drain doesn't work as well as it should, so the hose overwhelmed the drain and we had a little bit of a flood. Wasn't a huge deal. It's taken care of now, and now we're better manage the hose so we don't run into silly situations like that again.
So it's amazing how rumors get started. We're glad you're here, Mr. Peterson, to dispel them.
Well, it's kind of funny the way rumors started, but it's kind of sad that people listen to the rumors and take them as fact.